Now this is proper small town Brittany. I'm looking for somewhere where the name of the town is written down. We've called it Cleguerec, which is probably a terrible mispronunciation of how it's said, but it's a lovely little town. Don't forget the basics of being in France. If you want a coffee shop, find the church. There will be a coffee shop opposite the church. Always. I say always. I'm sure one of you will prove me wrong. And there we find the name of the town written down on this sign here. That's useful. So that's the name of the town. To say Cleguerec. And well, there's a nice statue. Not quite sure why we've got a little Statue of Liberty. But there we are, we've got a Statue of Liberty. And over here we've got a war memorial, of course. This war memorial is a little bit more warlike than a lot. We've got this French soldier, looks like he's got a grenade that he's going to throw at the cafe or something. Cleguerec to her dead for France. And of course the names from the First World War, and sadly the extra names for the Second World War. Look at that, that's horrible, isn't it? Robic Francois, Robic Jean, Robic Joseph, Robic Prosper, Robic, I can't read that last one. In a town this size, they're all brothers, sisters, possibly sisters, brothers, cousins, fathers. I was just looking at this church. It's got some very simple looking stained glass. What's striking about this church is the quality of the stonework. Look at these stones, and then look how little mortar jointing there is between them. There is a bed of mortar, but only just. That's quite impressive. And something that's a common feature this part of the world, stone calvaries. It was just pointed out to me that this little road over here obviously teaches us something, because this is the Rue du Paradis. Now I've just come down the road a little bit to a town called Malguenac, and I just thought that is a very interesting church tower and spire, isn't it? I've never seen one like that. Quite remarkable, quite lovely in its own sort of way, but different, isn't it? Well, that was actually rather a wonderful lunch. There's something again that, you know, I've known people say you can't go to France because you don't know what you're eating. Trust me, the French do not starve. There's some wonderful little cafes and restaurants, and we've just lunched in a creperie where we started with a jalette or a galette, and then finished with a crepe with pears and chocolate and all sorts. Absolutely wonderful. Come out, and of course there is a war memorial, of course. He actually looks like quite an old soldier, really, with that big moustache, doesn't he? And this is a small town of Malguenac. Public loos, if you feel the need, always useful to know that they are about. Now, I'm standing under a tree for the very good reason that it's raining. But look at this delightful French railway station at Cleguerec. And I'm standing where there used to be tracks. But if we walk along this way, we can see a train. I'm thinking this is actually probably going to upset a few train enthusiasts, because I would suggest that this train has stood here for some time. But then I'm not sure. Is it a new bit of track that has been laid to put these derelict bits and pieces on? You know, does that railway go 3 kilometres down the hill? Perhaps. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and walk through their work site. Probably shouldn't, but hey. Because besides these derelict bits of train here, there's a tram car there. Piles of rail. This is quite an interesting place, really. I'm not quite sure if I'm supposed to be here, but you know, no one shouted at me and there's no dogs barking, so that must be all right. Well, what another delightful town. So far, we've visited an awful lot of towns, sort of several a day actually, and they've all been rather delightful to look at. You know, ancient architecture, massive churches made in stone, you know, wonderful.